Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of the Bbdl. This week my opponent is Stewb, coach of the Maryland Torterrapins. My opponent also uploads, so I'm going to link their channel in the description below, so please go check them out. They upload all their battles just like I do. And I actually also believe they're in multiple leagues, so they got a lot of content coming out, so make sure you go and check them out. Anyways, so this is a rematch from the conference finals of Bbdl Season 2. So far, he's got one win over me in the regular season. I have a win over him in the semifinals, and then this is like our third game against each other. So this is kind of like the best 2 out of 3. This is the tiebreaker. So yeah. This week we're going to be showing off some of the new Pokemon that I picked up. I think I brought 3 out of the 4 that I swapped out. Yeah, because we have Munkidori, Dondozo, and Tatsugiri. So, looking at my opponent's team, I know that the Sinistra is going to have Machagacha, and I know Magmar is going to be Follow Me with Eviolite, and more than likely Flame Body. Just to try and get burns onto my Dondozo. So, in preparation for this game, I actually brought Water Veil Dondozo. Now, if you don't know what Water Veil is, I wouldn't be surprised because it's not a very commonly used ability, but pretty much what it does is it just prevents burns. So I'm not able to get burned. Normally people run Unaware or Oblivious on Dondozo. I was originally Oblivious for the Galarian Moltres, but at the last second I decided that Water Veil is actually probably better, just because the only mon I'm really worried about setting up is Galarian Moltres. And so to remedy that, I did bring Clear Smog on my Amoongus, so I do have an answer for that at least. So here we're just going to lead off with Munkidori and Amoongus, and then Dondozo, Tatsugiri in the back. The main role of Munkidori in this game is kind of to be like Glamora in those team comps where you see Glamora with the Dondozo Tatsugiri, where Glamora gets up the toxic spikes to poison everything to kind of stall out the opponent. I'm kind of trying to do the same thing, but instead of having toxic spikes, I have the the toxic chain. So every attack that I hit is going to have a chance to poison my opponent. And also I do have the Sludge Bomb as well to also give me a chance to poison my opponent. So we will see if we can get some of those off this game. So starting off, I'm just going to fake out with the Munkidori. It is faster than the Iron Hands, so if Iron Hands wants to fake out my Munkidori, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to go for the Spore under the Iron Hands. But it seems he decides to fake out my Amoongus. I fake out his Cresselia, so it's kind of a nothing turn. We don't get the poison there, but I am going to go for, I believe, the Psychic Noise into the Iron Hands, just to get some damage down on it, reduce the amount of healing that it'll be able to get. Or nope, I go for the poison. That makes sense. I already hate that I forgot. This game was literally like 2 days ago. Anyway, so I'm going to Sludge Bomb into the Iron Hands just to try and get a poison off. And then here, I do think about Terastallizing, but I don't really like the idea of Terastallizing just yet, just because I want to save it for my Dondozo. So I'm just going to raw Spore the Cresselia. I kind of figured that Cresselia is here for Trick Room, and because my team is mostly faster than his, I don't really want the Trick Room to go up. And we did see, because of turn order last time, that with Trick Room, I am actually my Amoongus will go before the Cresselia just because it's negative priority. So here, I'm just going to go for the Spore again into the Iron Hands, because in this season we did get rid of the Sleep Claws. So he does switch out, goes right out in Sinistra, which is a great play on his part because now my Spore isn't going to do anything at all. Because Spore doesn't affect grass types. So we do go for the Psychic Noise on the Sinistra, and that's going to do a little less than half to it, and we do get the Poison as well. So that's also going to stop the healing. As you'll see after this turn is completely over, the Sinistra is holding leftovers. And he does get the first turn wake up there with the Cresselia and puts up the Trick Room. So now I believe the turn order is Amoongus, Cresselia, Sinistra, and Munkidori. But here I am actually just going to debate about swapping out my Munkidori that's in to try and get Dondozo out on the field, because from most of the team that I've seen that he's got, I feel pretty confident with being able to send Dondozo and Tatsugiri out here, especially with the Terra Grass that I brought this week. It's going to do really well into Sinistra and Iron Hands. And I mean, the only thing that's really stopping it is maybe Magmar in the back. So he does withdraw the Sinistra here. Nothing for him to really go for there. And he brings out the Rampardos. So I did actually Leaf Storm into... I protected Munkidori and I Leaf Stormed into the Cresselia slot. But Cresselia does go for the Ally Switch, which actually works out perfectly in my favor, because we're going to get this Leaf Storm off onto the Rampardos. And that's going to reveal that the Rampardos is carrying the Focus Sash. So I don't have to worry about like a Sheer Force Life or Rampardos or anything like that. So here, this is where I do decide to swap out my my Munkidori, because I do want to preserve the Fake Out for later on in the game. Just in case this Rampardos gets swapped out and decides it wants to come back in later, I can bring out Munkidori and either force a Protect out of it or knock it out with a Fake Out. So Amoongus is going to go out here first, and we're going to go right out into our Tatsugiri. And Munkidori is going to be replaced with Dondozo. And so that's going to make it so any attack that goes into what was the Amoongus slot that's now Tatsugiri is just going to miss. So with that, we're going to get a +2 Omni boost in all of our stats, and hopefully dodge a couple attacks coming out from either the Cresselia or the Rampardos. And he does burn his Terra here. He burns it on his Rampardos and shows that Rampardos is the Stellar Terra, which I was actually pretty surprised about. I honestly have never seen the Stellar Terra used before. But he does go for the Stomping Tantrum, which... oh man, it's really hard for me to say. A Stellar Terra Stomping Tantrum would have been more than enough to knock out Munkidori. I'm surprised that he decided to go into that slot. I guess maybe it was just prediction based as to why. So I'm going to click order up here. I'm just going to click it right into the Cresselia just in case of the swapping move, the ally switch. But he does just decide to double attack into me, which is fine. We take both. One super effective hit with the Supercell Slam, which is boosted by the Stellar Terra. So the next Supercell Slam that we take isn't going to do as much damage there. So I feel pretty confident just kind of keeping Dondozo out there. I don't feel the need to protect. I am worried about maybe another Supercell Slam, especially if it does crit. So I am just going to protect. And if he goes for the Supercell Slam, it's going to miss, and it's going to knock the Rampardos out from the recoil that it'll take, which is exactly what he goes for. So Rampardos goes down there, and that is one of my opponent's Mons and the Stellar Terra down, or their Terra down. So don't have to worry about that anymore. And now that I've seen the entirety of their team, also they go for a Winter Blessing. Probably hoping that I would have protected. because that would have also healed Rampardos. But, yeah, they're going to go out to, I believe, Sinistra here. But with the dimensions going back to normal, we're now the fastest mon on the field. And I feel like I was saying something and I lost my train of thought. So, yes, with all the Pokemon revealed, I'm feeling really good about the Grass Terra right now, just because it will it'll ignore Rage Powder if the Sinistra is carrying that, and will also lower the damage of Machagacha, because I presume that is the move that he's brought on the Sinistra just to give it a chance to burn. And as we've seen from the Moonblast that the Cresselia has been throwing out, Moonblast really doesn't seem to be that big of an issue. It's not really doing much. So I'm just going to order up into the Sinistra slot, but the ally switch does make me hit the Cresselia, and he is going to Strength Sap. And because my attack is so high, that's going to be more than enough to fully heal a Sinistra, and it drops my attack by 1. So I was +4, now I'm +3 attack. And I know I check afterwards because I wasn't too sure how much Strength Sap lowered the attack. But it is only by 1 stage. So I am still +3. As long as I click order up, really, I will stay at +3. So that's not really too big of a deal. I don't mind who I knock out here, whether it's the Cresselia or the Sinistra. The Sinistra would be nice just because it's kind of annoying, but the knocking out the Cresselia is also good just because that gets rid of the potential of Trick Room. So he does go for the Machagacha there, and he'll always miss Tatsugiri, but he does miss the Dondozo, which I don't think, I mean, the main thing the Machagacha is going to do is burn, but I can't be burned. So really, he kind of just missed minimal damage there. Probably damage that would have just been healed off by the leftovers that my Dondozo has. So really, the only thing on his team that can threaten Dondozo that he brought this game is his Iron Hands. Because Sinistra and Cresselia together, there's no way they're making it through Dondozo. So it's kind of just down to my opponent getting in the Iron Hands and taking me out that way. And he also does reveal that he's got Trick Room on the Sinistra, which surprised me because, I don't know, I guess I don't like the kind of trying to use the same move on 2 different Pokemon. I feel like that takes up 1 too many slots, but it was very surprising. I definitely didn't expect it. So now with that, Iron Hands is going to be the fastest and Dondozo will be the slowest. So Iron Hands comes out here. I pretty much know that he's going to go for Fake Out, so I'm just going to Protect here just to not take the extra chip, the free chip from Fake Out, and then also probably the Machagacha that's going to come out. So this is going to be a turn where nothing really happens. Oh no, he went for Strength Sap, which makes sense because I think I'm at +4 now. So any other order ups are going to get me up to +5. So he's just trying to lower my attack and keep Sinistra healthy. But honestly, at this point, Sinistra is the Pokemon I'm the least worried about on his team, just because I'm assuming that the only move is Machagacha. So far we've seen Machagacha, Trick Room, and Strength Sap. So I'm kind of assuming that the last attack on it is going to be either Protect or Rage Powder. So I'm not really too worried about what the Sinistra can do. I'm more worried about getting rid of this Iron Hands. So I'm just going to let Sinistra sit there, and I'm just going to Wave Crash into the Iron Hands. Do my best to get rid of it. And after that Strength Sap, I'm at +3, which should be more than enough just to knock out this Iron Hands cleanly. And yeah, it's probably way more than enough. So now all that's left is Sinistra. It's Sinistra against Munkidori, Tatsugiri, Dondozo, and Amoongus. So I do feel pretty good in the rest of this matchup. I mean, this Sinistra would have to. I don't even know what it could do. It would need me to click protect probably 20 plus turns in a row. And he does get the double miss there again. But once again, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that really makes much of a difference. Just because there's no chance to burn Dondozo because of Water Veil, and the damage from Matcha Gotcha against a Terra Grass Dondozo at +2 special defense is going to be incredibly minimal. So Sinistra is going to go down there to poison, and that's going to be it for game one. Game one is actually pretty clean for us. I don't think we had a single Pokemon knocked out there, and the team worked the way that I was hoping. So going into this next game, I'm assuming that my opponent is going to make adjustments. So I don't want to bring the same thing, but I know I want to bring Dondozo Tatsugiri just because it just does so well into my opponent's team, especially if he has no way to get rid of the stat boost. So I know for sure Dondozo Tatsugiri are coming, and I don't really see a point in bringing Landorus. I do give Landorus some thought just because it's such a good mon, but the only physical attacker he's really got on his team is going to be that Iron Hands. And Iron Hands is kind of easily dealt with by the Terra Grass Dondozo. So I'm more than happy just to leave the Landorus behind. So I think my initial thought was I should just bring the same mons. It worked really well. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't work again. But I'm also the type of person that if you've watched any of my other videos, you've either picked up or you've heard me say I don't like to bring the same thing 2 games in a row. Mostly if I've won the first game, I like to at least try to bring one different mon just to get a feel for how they play into my opponent's team and also give my opponent a different look. So this time around, I do think about bringing Landorus and Passimian, but I'll tell you right now, I don't end up bringing Landorus. I end up bringing Amoongus instead. Just because I like what my Amoongus can do defensively into the other team. I like the potential to get off multiple spores, and it is the Terra Water, so it's not a bad Terra type either. The only thing the Terra Water really hurts me against is the Iron Hands, or not the Iron Hands. Well, yeah, the Iron Hands and the Sinistra. So I'm just gonna lead off with Amoongus and Passimian here, and bring Dondozo Tatsugiri in the back once again. I don't like leading Dondozo Tatsugiri just in case there is some form of counter that they have, but they bring the same lead they brought in the last game. So here I'm just gonna bring Upper Hand because I know the Fake Out's gonna come out. I'm just going to Upper Hand the Iron Hands to stop that Fake Out from coming out, and I'm going to put it to sleep. So actually with this, we see that the Sinistra is slower. No, I'm sorry. It's Trick Room. It's using Trick Room. That's why it's slower. So they do get their Trick Room up here. So now Iron Hands is the fastest thing on the field. No, Amoongus is the fastest thing on the field, followed by Iron Hands, then Sinistra, and then I assume Passimian just because I do have some speed in my Passimian, and if he's running Trick Room, I assume he's probably min speed. So here they're going to swap out Iron Hands, and they're going to go right into their Galarian Moltres. So I do just go for the Clear Smog just to get some damage down on the Sinistra. It's minimal damage, but I'm not really too worried about it. I just wanted to get some damage down. They do go for Strength Sap into my Passimian, which is going to heal them right back up to full. We're going to knock off here, knock off their leftovers. It does pretty much nothing because now I'm at -1 attack. But I do know that the Moltres is more than likely holding a Citrus Berry to try and get the double proc on Berserk. But I don't want to risk Amoongus here, so I'm just going to Terra Amoongus and go for the Spore into the Galarian Moltres. This is kind of a very obvious play on my part. Maybe not terastallizing, but going for the Spore into the Galarian Moltres. And so they're just going to click Protect there. And yeah, Spore's going to go into the Protect. And then I believe I clicked Rock Slide on my Passimian. Also, the Machagacha is going to go off. It does miss the Amoongus. He's had some really bad luck on these Machagachas hitting. I don't know exactly what the accuracy is on it, but I want to say it's like, is it 90? It's like 90 or 85. I don't think he should be missing this much, but I mean, I think he's missed almost all of them. So our Rock Slide misses there. So he misses Machagacha on Amoongus. I miss Rock Slide on Sinistra. Here, I'm just going to go for the Spore and Knockoff into the Galarian Moltres slot. And he's going to swap out and send his Iron Hands back in, which is a good move on his part because it's going to stop me from putting another Pokemon on his sleep. So Amoongus is kind of just a sitting duck here on the field. There's not really much for it to do. This time he does actually hit both Pokemon with the Machagacha, and I believe the result is a burn into my Amoongus. Yep, that is going to be a burn into the Amoongus. So we're going to knock off the Assault Vest here off of the Iron Hands, which doesn't really do much for me, because everything I brought is physical except for the Amoongus and the Tatsugiri. But Tatsugiri is going to live in Amoongus in Dondozo's mouth. So knocking off the Assault Vest doesn't really do much, but at least being able to confirm the item is nice. So here I'm going to do the double swap into my Dondozo Tatsugiri. I feel pretty safe doing this just because at +2, I'm not really going to take much. Oh, no. I thought I double swapped again. I guess I just single swapped into the Tatsugiri. My Tatsugiri does have a little bit of bulk invested in it, so I'm okay with just sending it out and letting it take a Machagacha. And there we do see that the dimensions go back to normal. I am going to go for a Draco Meteor here into the... I believe I go for Draco in the Sinistra. Just because I would like to get rid of the Sinistra. It is kind of annoying. But the Draco misses the KO by just a little bit. My Tatsugiri isn't max special attack, so that's probably why I missed the KO there. If I had been fully invested in special attack, I would have knocked it out. But I wanted to keep up... I wanted to keep it a little bulky, mainly so that way it couldn't get O-code by Iron Hands without any boosts. I wanted Iron Hands to... I wanted it to be able to live one attack my Iron Hands, just in case it came down to Iron Hands and Tatsugiri for some reason. That's why I brought Counter on Tatsugiri, just to live a big hit and then deal the damage back. So that's my reasoning for having Counter. But here, I know I'm locked into Draco Meteor, but the Draco Meteor is not going to go off because the switch happens first. And I'm going to send out Dondozo. And sending out Dondozo is just going to protect Tatsugiri and also give me the Omni boost that I'm looking for. So if the Iron Hands does wake up here and was, excuse me, targeting the Tatsugiri, we are going to dodge that attack. And I'm not really too worried about a Machagacha burn here from the Sinistra, just because once again, I can't be burned. But they do go for the Strength Sap, which fully heals them once again because of the high attack stat. And so here I'm only at +1 attack, so I kind of feel like I have to order up. And I am worried about the Iron Hands. But they do go for the Supercell Slam, and they do miss it, which does, I think it's like 50% damage. So they take like 50% of recoil for missing that in HP, and that's going to put them in range to get knocked out by this order up, and that's going to put us back at +2 attack. So we know that he's got the Galarian Zapdos in the back and one other Pokemon. So I do assume that he thinks I'm oblivious, or not oblivious. What is it? It's unaware. I assume he thinks that I'm unaware, so sending out the Galarian Moltres here really, I kind of figured I'd see the third one, just because if I am oblivious, the Galarian Moltres is just in trouble. Right from the bat, it's just going to be threatened by the Dondozo. So they do go out into their Magmar, and they do Terrasilize into the Grass type here. And so my thinking after seeing the Terrastalization is they're going to follow me spam and spam attacks to try and get a burn off here. So we do see the follow me come out, which is totally fine. I kind of figured that's what would come out. So I think I clicked Wave Crash here. I'm not 100% sure. It was either that or Order Up. Yeah, it was Order. Okay, so we click Order Up here, which is going to do, I don't know, like maybe 35% damage and give us another attack boost. So with these two out, once again, my Dondozo really isn't too threatened. The main thing that I'm worried about is just trying to keep Dondozo healthy until the Galarian Moltres comes out, because if Galarian Moltres comes out, it's gonna get a little dicey without Unaware. So I'm trying to stay healthy before that happens. But they do reveal that they have Clear Smog, which is one of those things that you're worried about when playing with Dondozo, is a move that's going to get rid of all your stats, and that's exactly what that did. So we, instead of having +2 and everything, now we're just +1 in our attack. So normally I would be the fastest Mon here, but right now I'm not. Yeah, Magmar is faster. It is going to go for the Scorching Sand, which is another attack that's got a chance to burn, but won't burn just because we have the Water Veil. And they do go for the Matcha Gotcha there, and it does a lot more damage when I don't have any boosts. So I'm just attacking here into the Magmar to try and get as much damage onto it, because damage on the Magmar is going to stick. I believe the only way that they have to heal that is going to be their Hospitality from the Sinistra, because they don't have Pollen Puff. I believe Sinistra can get Pollen Puff, but they don't have Pollen Puff on the Sinistra. They do go for the Scorching Sands there. I don't know why they targeted Gary, the Tatsugiri. I mean, I don't think it mattered. Really would have mattered, because Scorching Sands wasn't going to knock me out anyway. I just thought that was a little weird. But either way, we do get knocked out by the Matcha Gotcha. So now we're down to just Passimian, Amoongus, and Tatsugiri. So Amoongus is going to come out here. Now, Amoongus is going to take a lot of damage from the Sinistra. And I do see that I am still locked in the Draco Meteor. I honestly haven't played Tatsugiri. So I wasn't too sure if that reset my moves, but it does not. So I am just going to click Draco. I'm double targeting into the Magmar once again, because I do want to get the knockout on this Magmar. It is what I think to be more annoying than the Sinistra. I'm okay with letting the Sinistra sit here just because I don't think that it's too big of a threat. The only damage it's going to put out is Machagacha, which is annoying. But between Strength Sap and Machagacha, there's no way I'm going to be able to take it out in a timely manner. So my idea at this point is to focus down everything that isn't Sinistra. Just let Sinistra sit there. So I do debate here kind of what I want to go for. I do think about maybe preserving the Amoongus and sending out my Passimian in the back. And I decide if Amoongus is going to go down, it's going to go down here. I'm going to switch up the moves on Tatsugiri, get rid of the stat debuffs that I had because of using Draco Meteor, and send out Passimian here. So Passimian's going to come out and hopefully be able to threaten either of these guys. I'm kind of just hoping for no burn on Passimian, and that is going to be enough to take out the Amoongus. And we saw the Moltres use Nasty Plot, so the Moltres is now just setting up, and Passimian got Regenerator, which means absolutely nothing, because there's no way I'm switching it out for it to even get that heal. So Tatsugiri is going to come out here, and we're now down to our last two, and I'm just going to go for the Icy Wind Rock Slide. My thinking behind doing Icy Wind is if I lower their speed and make Passimian the fastest mon on the field, I could potentially win by just flinches alone, if I can get flinches on this Moltres. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. I'm going for the flinch endgame because I really do think this is my only way out of this scenario here. Because Moltres is going to be able to OHKO. I think even now, at just +2, it's going to be enough to knock out both my Passimian and my Tatsugiri. So Icy Wind goes off, which, thanks to Choice Scarf, we are the fastest on the field with no Trick Room. And we are going to get the Rock Slide off. I do believe that Speed Drop did matter. I don't see the Moltres being slower than Passimian either way, because I assume if that was the case, they probably would have put Trick Room up. But, so, literally the end game here is Rock Slide and Icy Wind to victory if we get another flinch. So we are going to set off the Berserk there. Once Moltres drops below 50% HP, it gets a special attack boost, and then we see the Citrus Berry go off, which brings it back up above 50, and then we take it back down, so it's going to get another buff. So now this Moltres definitely, if it didn't before, it definitely knocks us out now. But we do get another flinch, which honestly is huge, and Tatsugiri living there I think matters, because we do need that chip on the Sinistra in order to knock it out with a Rock Slide. So now the only thing we're hoping for here is no miss. If we get a miss here onto the Moltres, I think it's just a loss. If we miss the Sinistra, it's close. So we do get the Icy Wind. We hit both with the Icy Wind, and then the Rock Slide here is going to go off, and we do hit both, which is going to be enough to knock him out. Now, in all honesty, this is 100% should have been a third game. That was the only out I had, was a double flinch, and I was lucky enough to get it. So, yeah, that definitely should have been a game win. The second game should have been one for him, and we should have gone to a game 3. But it didn't work out that way. So, GG's to my opponent. They played great. I feel bad that I've won because of hacks once again, but honestly, I don't have any control over it, and I was just playing to my outs. So, yeah, don't forget to check out their channel. And before you head over and check them out, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, much appreciated. I'll see you guys in week 3.